Alright, this is part 2 of the potato video. So you saw earlier that I had cut them up to expose the eyes, and so the other side scabs. And then what I did is, potatoes need full sun. So last year I did a garbage can method. And I might do that as well, but this year I'm going to do another method. There's several methods to do it. I'm just playing around with all the methods. So what you want is the rows. So this is more of a traditional way to grow potatoes, just straight in the ground in rows. You can square foot garden them, which are still in rows, but you're in a square foot garden. This is sort of like that because I'm controlling the soil. So rather than just using the soil from the dirt, I'm actually using my raised bed soil. So it's kind of a mixture of the traditional row way, but with controlling the soil that it's in. So the rules for this are the rows need to be 3 feet apart, and the potatoes need to be about 8 inches, maybe 8 to 10 inches. I did about 8 inches. And then when you place them in the ground, you want to place them so the eyes up, so you have the cut portion. So you put it down, make the eye up. If you have like fingerlings, sort of like these are, that are small enough, you don't cut them. You just leave them whole if they're tiny enough. But you still do the same thing. You put them in so the eyes are up. So once you get your little trench dug and you get all your potatoes, those are yellowfin, I believe, and those are like North Dakota russets, and those up there are Purple Majesty. Once you get them all in, then you want to cover them with about 1 inch of soil. Potatoes do not like sunlight. They don't want light at all. So like for instance, when you plant like lettuce needs light to germinate, so you're only covering them with 1/8 of an inch of soil, kind of just barely. So the depth of the vegetable is determined by how much light they need. So potatoes don't like light. So you bury them like I did here. This is my compost mixture. You bury them in 1 inch of dirt. And then as they grow, they're going to grow, and probably most of you know that when they grow, you have to pile them up because they continue to not like light. So basically as the vegetable grows and kind of, let's just use that wall, as it kind of gets tall, then you bury it up to like the first leaf. Then you let it grow, then you bury it up to the first leaf, and then you let it grow, and you bury it up to like the first leaf. And you just do this through the whole growing cycle. And then you'll have potatoes. And then when you dig them up, you want to dig them up by hand preferably. They do make potato forks, but just beware that any metal object going through the dirt is going to tear into a potato. And the potato's not like a cabbage. Like if you see the cabbage sitting right here, then the cabbage is there, you see it and you get it. You plant 1 potato and it turns into like 100 potatoes, they're going to be kind of all over. So it's kind of better to use your hands or use a potato fork if you're careful. Just get some kids to go in there and dig them up. And then I'm going to do another planting in the fall. And then I'm going to talk about how to store potatoes, because these aren't really for storing. These are early and mid-season potatoes. Then you get your late-season potatoes and your storage potatoes, and then you plant them in the fall, and then we'll cover that. But basically, one thing you need to do is you stop watering for 2 weeks. And what this does is this forces the potato to grow a thick wall on the potato itself, and then it can store better. But I'll go into storing potatoes later in the fall when that's what I'm doing. These are just going to be harvested as soon as I can. So that's part 2. Then part 3 will be later towards the fall when I cover storage potatoes and planting potatoes in the fall.